Introduction. The theme of this journey is the archer's focus, how ancient Greeks and samurai mastered unshakable confidence. We will explore how the disciplined aims of a Greek archer and a samurai warrior converge on a single truth. Confidence is forged by a focused mind, disciplined practice, and an unshakable sense of purpose. Along the way, we will shine a spotlight on a philosophy that ties their stories together: Stoicism. Philosophy Spotlight, Stoicism. Stoicism invites us to master our inner world as we would command a weapon. It begins with the simple idea that we cannot control external events. A Greek soldier cannot control the Greek enemy's arrows, nor can a samurai control the sudden twist of a battlefield. What we can control is the response of our own mind. This is why Stoicism centers on discipline, endurance, and clarity. The most famous Stoic, Marcus Aurelius, wrote in his Meditations that the impediment to action advances action. To him, obstacles were not foes but teachers. One key Stoic principle is the dichotomy of control. When a Greek archer draws a bow, he knows the wind may shift, but he cannot control that wind. He can control his posture, his breath, his aim. This is precisely how a samurai would sharpen his sword. His mind was the blade, his discipline the steel. The Stoic virtue of courage is then not about fearlessness, but about facing whatever comes with equanimity. Two lessons for us today arise from this perspective. First, accept that we are actors in a larger scene. Our efforts are part of a greater narrative. Second, sharpen your focus by eliminating distractions that do not serve your immediate goal. Finally, practice disciplined breathing. The Greek archers inhale before release, the samurai's mindful steadiness before the strike. These concepts appear in every chapter of this script, guiding our stories and your own practice. Chapter 1: The Olympic Archer. In ancient Olympia, athletes competed not only for glory, but for the honor of their city-state. Among them was a Thessalian archer who earned the title of Kleokronos for his perfect timing. He stood beneath a bright sun on a distant hillside, the wind murmuring over the grass. While other archers rushed ahead, he measured each breath, waiting for the wind to fade. He did not let the roar of the crowd or the bright glare of the sun disrupt his calm. The lesson emerging from this parable is that an unshakable mind begins with an unshakable focus. The Thessalians' training was simple: practice relentlessly, but only at the moment when the wind was kind. He turned the art of timing into a mental discipline that made him unbreakable under pressure. Applying this to modern life, when you face a high-stakes presentation or a stressful negotiation, pause and take a deep breath. Consider the wind of distractions, background chatter, notifications, internal doubts, and let them pass. In this calm, you can see the exact angle and true mark of your target. Conclusion. Your capacity to focus is a bow you can shape. Even in today's clutter, the Greeks remind us that discipline in breath and stance creates confidence. Call to action. If this sparks a new awareness for your focus, please like, share, and subscribe for deeper journeys into ancient wisdom. Reflective question. What wind has been most challenging for you this week, and how can you train your mind to pause and refocus? Chapter 2: The Samurai's Silent Stand. During the Edo period of Japan, a samurai named Takedo Kiyomasa faced betrayal during a siege. His castle walls, once strong, now seemed permeable to hostile arrows. Yet within him, a quiet courage arose. He didn't shout or shout of fear, but stood with his katana beside his chest, eyes fixed on the horizon. The story underscores the power of calm under fire. The samurai's confidence did not stem from the belief that he would win the siege, but from the discipline that the katana never moved until it was required. His posture was a meditation, his heart a steady drum that kept him present, untethered by hope or dread. The modern application follows. In moments of career challenge, think a job interview or a key project, position yourself like the samurai. Instead of imagining success or failure, align with the moment. Notice the air, the sound, the feeling of your own body. By doing so, you remove the noise of fear and replace it with a clear, present awareness that allows you to act swiftly and correctly. Conclusion. Confidence for Takedo lived in the space between breath and blade. Whenever you feel threatened, recall that space and breathe. Call to action. If this resonated, please like, share, and subscribe so more ancient stories inspire your confidence. Reflective question. When was the last time you felt truly present in a high-pressure situation, and how did that presence affect your outcome? Chapter 3, The Spartan Shield. The Spartan town of Plataea was famed for its warriors who could hold a line against great forces. Their training ritual involved forming a tight shield wall, each man standing shoulder to shoulder. Their confidence was built on trust and solidarity. However, the true strength of that wall was not the metal of each shield, but the unwavering focus of each Spartan. They practiced the same movement, block, parry, thrust, repeated until muscle memory and mind were one. An arrow that burst through a shield never shifted the line because each warrior focused solely on his neighbor's position and his own breath. In today's business world, this translates into teamwork aligned with a shared goal. A founder might see a company as a single shield. Each department aligns with the mission and trusts that others will do their part. To build such focus, regularly check in with the core vision. Ask each team member what anchor keeps them on course and ensure you all move in sync. Conclusion. Confidence emerges when every participant in a collective aligns their focus, just like each Spartan standing in a shield wall. Call to action. If you're building a team or network, please like, share, and subscribe for more insights on aligning confidence. Reflective question. What is the shield that supports you in your day-to-day tasks, and who or what reinforces that shield? Chapter 4, The Greek Philosopher's Challenge. In the Agora of Athens, a young philosopher approached the great Socrates and asked, "How do we develop the strength of our mind to stand unwavering in life?" Socrates answered by leading him in the famous silver mirror exercise. The young man pictured a battlefield in his mind, feeling the weight of his armor, his sword, and the wind. He practiced walking into that battlefield every day, letting the mental images sharpen his inner focus. The lesson is that intentional visualization cultivates confidence. The philosopher's daily practice was not a physical sport but a mental one, drawing upon the precise discipline of the Greeks. By rehearsing a stressful scenario in his mind, he became ready when the real event arrived. Modern application comes in performance psychology and sales. Before a pitch, imagine the room, rehearse your answers, see the reactions. The mental rehearsal primes the mind for success, making the real event feel less daunting. The psychological benefit is that the mind has rehearsed the path to success, shortening reaction times and reducing hesitation. Conclusion. The Greeks' mental training shows that confidence can be imagined as much as earned. Call to action. If visualization feels new or powerful, like, share, and subscribe to discover more mind power techniques. Reflective question. What scenario would you like to rehearse mentally this week, and how might that rehearsal change your confidence? Chapter 5, The Final Arrow. The most celebrated Greek archer was none other than Diodorus, who was invited to a foreign court to demonstrate his prowess. His last audience demanded the highest challenge, an arrow to the eye atop a gilded dome. Diodorus, calm as any Greek hero, chose a target that required not power but precision. He set his bow, drew it, let the wind swirl until the final breath. The arrow arced gracefully, landed square on the mark. The crowd gasped, the judge accepted the shot. His triumph was not just skill, it was the product of an unshakable focus honed by years of stoic discipline. He treated the arrow as a part of himself, a reflection of his mind. He did not see the crowd, the dome, the expectation, only the target. For everyday living, this can be translated into the art of prioritization. The final arrow is the most critical task, the one that brings your vision to fruition. By aligning focus to that critical task, you turn potential anxiety into a chance for mastery. Conclusion. The final arrow is a metaphor for your last, most decisive effort, whether a product launch, a promotion, or a personal milestone. When you aim with clarity and confidence, the outcome will echo your inner discipline. Call to action. If you found this story inspiring, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories that sharpen your focus. Reflective question. What is your final arrow for the coming week, and how will you ensure your focus stays on that target? Final conclusion. Across ages and cultures, the Greek archer's breath, the samurai's quiet resolve, the Spartan shield's unity, the philosopher's mental rehearsal, and the celebrated final shot, one truth emerges. Confidence is born of disciplined focus. It is nurtured by clarity of mind, practice of breath, and a purposeful alignment with a single aim. Embrace these ancient lessons, practice today, and watch your confidence bloom from the steady hands of history into the bold stance of your future. Sit back, take a deep breath, and let your focus strike.